Another high-rated Indonesian horror film is making a big splash. This film is adapted from the haunted clinic incident circulating in Indonesian folklore, with a female customer who loves to smile, visiting the clinic late at night. A series of bizarre events is about to unfold. Are you ready to embrace this thrilling feast? The story begins. The female nurse is preparing to hang herself in the clinic's bathroom, but strangely, her face is filled with terror and unease, as if something is controlling her, step by step towards death. In no time, the female nurse stops struggling. With the nurse's bizarre death, rumors about the clinic quickly spread. Many people say the nurse was possessed by an evil spirit, but some people just don't believe in superstitions. And since then, strange things start happening one after another. That day, Aram and Pika travel a long way to the clinic, but Dr. Demas just takes one look and prepares to send them away. Dr. Demas says, this clinic never hires female interns, but considering the two have no support now, so he calls the nurse aide to settle them in first. Wait until a car is found to send the two away. According to the nurse aide, the clinic has just reopened recently. Currently there are only 3 doctors here. I still have nursing work to do. Pika quickly calls her mentor, hoping he can persuade Dr. Dimas to let her and Aram stay. Just after hanging up the phone, Pika notices there is blood on Aram's pants. Thinking Aram is on her period, she quickly reminds her to change clothes. Upon hearing this, Aram immediately runs towards the toilet. However, when she finishes dealing with the blood and prepares to leave, a ghostly figure suddenly appears behind her. A chill even creeps up her neck. Immediately after, from a nearby room, comes a strange noise. Driven by curiosity, Aram follows the sound. Seeing the sound comes from the clinic's bathroom, Aram gathers her courage, opens the door and walks in. But before she can carefully check the situation inside, a sudden sharp pain hits her abdomen. Aram quickly runs into the nearby toilet, only to discover a large amount of blood flowing from her lower body. At first, Aram just thinks, maybe this period is heavier than usual, so she doesn't take it to heart. Hearing water flowing outside, Aram hastily pulls up her pants, runs out to turn off the faucet. Who would have thought the next second, the faucet turns on by itself again. Aram desperately wants to turn it off, but after trying for a while, it's completely useless. When Aram plans to give up and leave, a woman's figure appears at the end of the bathroom. Aram subconsciously follows, but when she pulls back the shower curtain, there's nothing inside. Thinking she saw wrong, Aram quickly leaves the bathroom, unaware that a pair of ghostly hands has passed through the door, reaching towards her. Fortunately, the nurse aide appears in time. She warns Aram that unless there's something special, never approach the bathroom. Even after encountering so many strange things, Aram still goes with Pika to find Dr. Tedo, hoping he can let the two stay. After repeated consideration, Tedo finally decides to let them stay. But Tedo's ex-wife Rini seems not very satisfied. She keeps staring viciously at Aram and the other. Fortunately, Tedo calls her away in time, thus avoiding conflict. Then Aram and Pika learned from the clinic driver that Rini is a psychiatrist. That's why he's acting so nervously. This makes sense in the circumstances. The next day, Pika and Aram followed Dr. Tedo to the village for free checkups, but they accidentally overheard Teto and the village chief mentioning, a few months ago, the suicide case that happened in the clinic. Although this made Pika feel a bit uneasy, she didn't say anything about it. After returning to the clinic, Pika then dared to tell Aram. However, before she could finish what she heard today, a disheveled woman walks straight into the dental clinic. But the last patient, it wasn't seen half an hour ago already. Then who is this person in front of them? Aram and Pika looked at the woman with confusion, but she acted as if she didn't see them and sat down abruptly. Aram thought the woman was in an emergency, so she came without an appointment. But no matter how she called out, the woman remained unresponsive. Seeing this, Pika quickly ran to the front desk, leaving Aram to face the woman alone. Unexpectedly, as she turned her head, she saw the woman staring at her eerily. No matter how Aram responded, the woman maintained the same posture throughout, except for her head, which kept rotating with Aram. Although Aram was extremely terrified inside, out of her duty as a doctor, she still braced herself to prepare to disinfect the woman. But at that moment, the woman suddenly touched Aram's belly. Aram subconsciously turned on the flashlight to check, and the woman in front mysteriously disappeared. Before Aram could react, she encountered the legendary ghost wall. The room had become a sealed chamber. No matter how Aram pounded, she couldn't escape. Worse still, She kept hearing the woman's miserable screams in her ears. The terrified Aram could only hug her head and squat on the ground in fear. After the surroundings calmed down, she dared to stand up and turn on the lights. Unexpectedly, the next second, the female ghost appeared again. At the critical moment, Dr. Tedo arrived, and all the weirdness disappeared with it. After learning about Aram's experience, he quickly asked the housekeeper to demolish the bathroom. The housekeeper knew the bathroom, as the first scene of the suicide, is the place with the deepest resentment, but he could only brace himself to do as the boss required. But unexpectedly, before the housekeeper could act, he died in a car accident. After Aram learned of the housekeeper's death, she ran out of the clinic in panic. Pika, realizing something was wrong, quickly chased after her. According to Aram, a day ago, the housekeeper had touched her butt. At that time, Aram didn't resist, but silently cursed the housekeeper in her heart to have an accidental death. Who would have thought the curse worked so quickly? Aram felt deeply guilty about this. She thought the housekeeper died because of her. Unbeknownst to her, that bathroom was the source of the curse. After the housekeeper's death, Dr. Tedo assigned the responsibility of repairing the bathroom to Muardi. Unexpectedly, that night, Muardi was retaliated against by the evil spirit. Seeing the lights in the room suddenly go out, Muardi thought it was Mrs. Ida, deliberately teasing him, so he kept calling Mrs. Ida's name, completely unaware that the evil spirit had quietly climbed to the ceiling. While Muardi was searching around for the source of the anomaly, he discovered, in horror, that under him, a little cutie had appeared at some point. Such a terrifying scene. Muardi was so scared that he ran away. But as he ran, he accidentally led himself into a dead end. To get to the other side now, he had to cross this single log. With no choice, Muardi had to force his way across. During this, Muardi accidentally slipped and almost fell into the river. Luckily, he grabbed the stump in time. Just as he was thinking about how to save himself, the evil spirit suddenly appeared and yanked him down. But fortunately, after a struggle, Muardi made it to the shore without harm. Although he escaped this time, every time he thought back on it, Muardi still felt lingering fear, because the woman didn't commit suicide at all. It was murder. The illusion of suicide was created by him and the housekeeper. Muardi knew deep down that the woman had turned into a vengeful ghost to seek revenge. Sure enough, even though Muardi had escaped back home, the evil spirit still didn't plan to let him go. Meanwhile, strange things also happened to Aram. The evil spirit took advantage of her distraction and silently climbed onto her body. Then, in an extremely perverted way, it licked every inch of Aram's skin. Aram recognized this evil spirit as the woman who appeared at the dental clinic that day. But before the two could react, the driver rushed into the room and told them about Muardi's death. Soon, everyone from the clinic rushed to the crime scene. After seeing Muardi's tragic state, Demas panicked and ran off to find the caretaker. He seriously asked the caretaker if she was hiding something, but the caretaker refused to speak. Seeing this, Demas could only leave helplessly. Not long after he left, Pika also found the caretaker. The caretaker and Muardi were husband and wife. Although both worked for the clinic, she unintentionally revealed that the woman's death was connected to the clinic. Just as Pika was about to ask more to keep, the caretaker chose to stay silent again. That night, Aram and Pika got into an argument over some trivial matters. In the end, Aram fainted on the ground due to being too emotional. Luckily, Pika sent her to the clinic in time. Then Pika turned back to continue investigating clues about the dead woman. During this, she also found an intimate photo of Demas and the woman. The woman was named Tantri. She used to be a nurse at the clinic. But why did she die mysteriously? Could it be that this has something to do with Dr. Demas? Before Pika could figure it out, she saw Demas standing outside the window, staring straight at her. Pika was so scared that she fled the scene in panic. But this didn't stop her investigation. The next day, Pika sneaked into Demas's office. She found an album in his bag, but inside weren't photos, but strands of women's hair, and each strand corresponded to a woman's name. Seeing the last one was Aram, Pika suspected Demas's next target might very well be her. Just as Pika was about to leave with the evidence, Demas came in at the wrong time. Luckily, Pika hid behind the door in time. and wasn't caught by Demas. Pika wanted to slip away while he wasn't looking, but she ran right into Tato. Tato saw her looking panicked and stopped her. But before Pika could share her discovery, Demas appeared again. With Tato's help, the two went to an abandoned warehouse. Pika bluntly stated her suspicions about Demas. Unexpectedly, Tato had long felt that Tantri's death was related to Demas, but without evidence, he couldn't do anything about Demas. Now, with this photo album, everything will be easy to handle. But before dealing with Demas, they still have the most important thing to do. That is to get Aram out of the clinic as soon as possible. No time to lose. They immediately sent Aram to the caregiver's home, originally planning to let Aram stay here for a few days and send her away once she's a bit better. Unexpectedly, that very night, Aram was haunted by the evil spirit again. When Pika woke up, Aram was already nowhere to be found. Immediately after, noises came from the bathroom. Pika, worried about her friend's safety, hurried over, but discovered that Aram had been fully possessed by the evil spirit. Pika wanted to step forward to stop it, but was pulled into the bathtub by Aram. While Pika struggled desperately in the water, the truth suddenly flashed in her mind. It turned out the real killer wasn't Demas, but Tato. Back then, Tato coveted Tantri's beauty, so he drugged and molested her. After waking up, Tantri wanted to report it to the police, but the furious Tato directly drowned Tantri alive. Then he had the housekeeper and Morty create the illusion that Tantri committed suicide in the bathroom. After learning the truth, Pika finally returned to reality, but her head was held down tightly by Aram. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Tato arrived just in time. Seeing the real killer standing in front of her, Pika was momentarily at a loss. To gaily, arousing Tato's suspicion, she didn't choose to reveal the truth. However, just as she was about to leave with Aram, Aram suddenly said about her own miscarriage. It turned out Aram had been assaulted by Tato long ago, but under Tato's threats, she never dared to tell the truth. Until this moment, Aram finally mustered the courage to say it all. Knowing the matter was exposed, Tato dropped all pretense. He grabbed Pika's hair, pressing her hard against the wall. Pika tried to resist, but Tato nailed her palm. At the moment of crisis, Demas finally arrived. Without a word, he used a rope to strangle Tato unconscious. Pika knew she had wrongly accused Demas before, so she sincerely apologized to him. And Demas also revealed everything that happened back then. It turned out that after Tato molested Tantri, Tantri became pregnant. As her fiancé, Demas did not choose to make a fuss. Instead, he decided to accept the child. But unexpectedly, Tantri died due to difficult labor. Hearing this, Pika immediately said that Tantri didn't die from difficult labor, but was murdered in the bathroom. But before she could reveal the full truth, Tato behind her suddenly stood up, stabbing Demas with a small knife. Then he picked the sharpest knife, and he began searching for Pika and Aram. Seeing this, they huddled in the corner, not daring to breathe. At that moment, Tato revealed his tragic childhood. Tato's father was also a pervert. He treated his wife as a tool for venting. Even when his wife was ill and had only one breath left, the father still tormented her every day. He even yanked out the little hair she had left. To protect his mother, Tato decisively poisoned and killed his father. As soon as he finished speaking, Tato spotted Aram sitting alone on the ground. But just as he was about to approach, he noticed Pika trying to sneak attack him. The prepared Tato not only dodged Pika's attack successfully, but also stabbed her in return. When Tato wanted to finish off Pika completely, the caregiver suddenly appears.
Udah cukup, Dokter Teto.
The caregiver thinks Tato is already dead, so she hurriedly runs to find Aram. But unexpectedly, the next second, Tato appears again and kills the caregiver. Tato confidently believes that he is an invincible war god, but he never expected that. At this moment, Tantri's ghost has already possessed Aram's body. She immediately unleashes revenge on Tato. Pika tries to stop Aram, but the other has been completely controlled by the evil spirit. It's completely useless. Just as Tantri is about to complete her revenge, Pika suddenly calls out to her.
Tantri! Kamu nunjukin itu semua ke aku, Tantri. Aku janji, kita semua akan ngasih kenangan buat kamu.
After hearing Pika's words, Tantri's resentment indeed begins to gradually dissipate. In no time at all, Aram returns to normal. The two survivors hug each other and cry bitterly. After their emotions calm down, they support each other and slowly walk out of the clinic. But good and evil will eventually be repaid. Teto, now in prison, ultimately cannot escape the ghost's revenge. He pays the due price for everything he has done. Alright, that's the story for today. I'm Movie Briefs. See you next time.
我们下期见。